Hello, it's another episode of the NLW podcast. Sorry I didn't get to you last week. I was very, very ill, and I'm better now, luckily. I think it was just a flu-like thing, or a cold, man flu, I guess you could call it, but my voice wasn't up to scratch, but I am now, and we're back with some good news from Extreme Rules, some exciting news featuring the return of Bray Wyatt and more, and another quick shout out to Davian for the podcast last time, about 2 weeks ago. Had a lot of fun doing it. I'm looking for more guests as well, so if there's anybody that you'd be interested in having on the podcast, then let me know and I might try and reach out to them. But for now, it's just a solo podcast, but I do enjoy those joint ones, so I will be looking to get a guest on in the near future. As for now, though, we're going to be talking about what I'm working on, including a new matchup coming very soon, some wrestling figure news, as well as some wrestling news, including the Andrade Sammy Guevara scuffle, some more AEW news, including news of maybe 2 new programs coming to the network. Also, the White Rabbit was revealed, and Extreme Rules review, all of that good stuff, as well as some more NLW updates, and of course, patron shouts out. But we'll start off with what I'm working on, and it's kind of a secret. If you're on the Patreon, you'll know what I'm working on. It's the finale of NLW 24/7. I kind of mentioned it 2 weeks ago, and there's not really been any official announcement on NLW 24/7 as to why it's ending, but I will get to that at some point in the near future. However, as it pertains to this podcast, I will kind of keep it brief on what I'm working on. It's a big match, it's a big finale, but you can kind of guess what it's going to be. I usually hold one in December, so this will be the third one. Again, that's enough clues. But I'm currently working through that matchup, and it's taken a couple days. Obviously, I was ill this past week. I say ill. I was just not feeling up to it, a bit sick. So I kind of postponed filming, but a week later, got back on it, and I've been doing it today. So that matchup will be up on the Patreon very soon, hopefully by the end of October, and it will be on YouTube around the start of December. But yeah, you want to watch the NLW 24/7 penultimate show, which is coming up on the 29th of October on YouTube and already available on Patreon if you want to go check it out. But that's all I'm working on, really. I've also started writing a lot of shows heading in to WrestleMania 6. I know, I've not even gotten through WrestleMania 5 yet. However, I'm trying to make more of a concrete plan of what I want to film as I'm moving forward. I feel like a lot of the time, if I don't have a concrete plan in place, it makes me not motivated to film. However, I feel like having all the shows planned out in advance, moving forward, will hopefully spark some interest for me filming personally, and also probably make the shows more important and seem more important if I know what's coming up. So I've written loads of stuff. I've almost written the entirety of the WrestleMania 6 build, and I think it's going to be stuff that you guys will like. Obviously, WrestleMania 5, the main event has been announced, so go and check that video out if you haven't already, featuring a special appearance from Stage Creator. Massive thank you to him for helping me out with that. Basically, writing up the contract in storyline for this big blow-off match between Triple H's faction and Stone Cold's faction, NLW versus Metal Wrestling, and a lot of the shows, a lot of the matches I should say, at WrestleMania 5 will be NLW versus Metal Wrestling. So that's kind of the theme, the overarching theme of WrestleMania 5, and I've just been kind of writing matches heading into that event. I've finished filming a bunch of metal content heading into WrestleMania, and I'm going to start, once I film this match for NLW 24/7, I will be going on to film the NLW episodes heading into WrestleMania. In fact, I think the next NLW episode is scheduled to be released on the 5th of November, so look out for that one coming very soon in the next couple of weeks. And moving forward, we're on the road to WrestleMania, baby, and I cannot wait for you guys to see what the build's going to be, what the card's going to be. It's going to be a roller coaster of emotions heading into WrestleMania 5. But that's about what I'm working on. In terms of wrestling figure news, not a lot really in terms of new news, although we have seen some released images of stuff like the Sting Ultimate Ring, so the Rampage ring, and on some of the renders it showed that there was just going to be a plain ring mat, but luckily it seems that we're going to have the official AEW Rampage logos on the ring skirt, as well as the ring canvas. So it looks cool. I think it might be an interesting pickup for me personally. If it goes down in price, in sales and stuff like that. And honestly, I'm just waiting for the Black Friday sales. They do have a Halloween sale up now, do ringside, but for now, I just feel like, I've been tempted by a couple of figures, but I don't really have the money to spend at the moment. But hopefully, Black Friday, there's a couple of cool deals on, and I can get some decent new pickups. Because the most recent one I've got is the Brock Elite 96, and that's been a good figure to film with from the little bits and pieces I've done, like trial filming and stuff. So any more kind of figures I want to get, probably like the Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone's, the Excaliburs, anyone with a suit I would like to pick up. Maybe even the Almost Elite, I'm not too sure yet. But there are a bunch of figures that have yet to be released, including, I'll tell you, the Ruthless Aggression ones, like the Rey Mysterio, I believe it's the Legends 16, that's one that's definitely on my bucket list. In terms of other ones, Stacy Keibler's one I want to get, because I want to complete that kind of Ruthless Aggression, Attitude Era collection, and add to that, as well as the Rey Mysterio, even though it's a goofy face scan on the Royal Rumble one, that is one I want to pick up, as well as the, Damien was talking about it, that Damien Priest, the white one, looks so sick. Yeah, and really, there's a lot of cool figures coming out. Obviously, you got to kind of measure your expectations of what you can spend and what you can buy with those, including the new Greatest Hit series. Hopefully they do more of those, but we'll see what happens with that Black Friday sale, because there's a bunch of cool figures that I want to pick up. But, gonna have to earn more money before I even think about getting entire collections again. But yeah, I'm very happy with the Brock, and maybe I'll pick up a couple more if they appear in some of the sales in the UK. We shall see. But yeah, not a lot of new figure news, so we'll just move on to wrestling news. And there's a lot heading out of Extreme Rules. Obviously, I didn't cover it last week because I was off sick, but this week I do want to talk about Extreme Rules and just give you kind of my brief thoughts on it. I'm just so happy to see Bray Wyatt back, man. We'll talk about that first. The ending of Extreme Rules, where you had the reveal of the White Rabbit. It is finally revealed to be Bray Wyatt, and he's back in WWE. Looks fantastic. The pop he got was amazing. I loved the little details and the intricacies of the Firefly Funhouse characters, where you had the Huskus the pig in life form, which, I don't know, that's going to creep me out a little bit for the foreseeable future. And also Ramblin' Rabbit and Abby the Witch and The Fiend making a brief appearance, but Bray Wyatt seemingly this new character, this new direction that he's going for. We heard him cut a promo on SmackDown, which seemed quite genuine in terms of his emotion and his ability. I teared up a little bit hearing it, but he's back and he thanked the fans for everything, really. And then there was this weird little cut-off where he his kind of alter ego was saying some sinister stuff, so we'll see what happens moving forward. Obviously, the rumoured Wyatt 6 is coming, his new faction. So is he a heel? Is this an alter ego? What's going on? Was he genuine when he said this stuff? Was it a way for him to kind of thank the fans but still maintain an element of that character? A lot of intriguing stuff with Bray Wyatt, and heading into War Games and Survivor Series, perhaps this new group facing the Bloodline allegedly. Some real cool stuff there. Another return which happened recently on Raw was the Good Brothers, and this Raw, by the way, fantastic Raw. In fact, SmackDown was fantastic as well. Both shows definitely you should check out. I feel like the Triple H era, it had its teething problems a little bit at the start, just trying to find his feet. There was some good stuff, but now I think that his vision has come together and it's real concrete. You got the return of the likes of LA Knight returning to his character, and the Good Brothers as well back on Raw with AJ Styles. I think that's fantastic. And the club versus the or the OC as they're called versus the Judgment Day should be an interesting angle moving forward. And also Rey Mysterio now being on SmackDown, continuing that thread with Dominic Mysterio wanting to be away from him. Edge having to say I quit because of Finn Balor at Extreme Rules, and that was a fantastic match, by the way. Balor and Edge for 30 minutes just knocking the hell out of each other. And another couple of notes from Extreme Rules. Riddle and Seth Rollins, a very good match, in my opinion. I know some people thought that it might have petered out a little bit, but I enjoyed the concept of it. I thought it was a different environment, and they worked well with the environment they were given. Wanting Seth Rollins' RVD attire figure very soon. Balor and Edge, again, probably my favourite match of the night, I would say. And then you had Bianca and Bayley, and that was a surprising result. Bianca winning the championship. And I've seen some people say, you worry that Bianca's going to go down this Super Cena route, but I don't see that thus yet. I think that having a strong champion is a good thing. whether Bayley does win the championship eventually or not, I'm not too sure, but it'll be interesting to see who actually takes the title from Bianca. Maybe it'll be Alexa in a new role, maybe with Wyatt again, who knows. Cross and Drew McIntyre, I've seen a lot of people kind of crap all over this match, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I might be one of the only Karrion Kross fans out there, but I think that he is a interesting, unique persona on television at the moment, and I think that it was just two beefy men whipping the hell out of each other with the strap, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it for what it was. It didn't have to be a technical classic. I enjoyed it a lot. Rousey and Liv, it was sloppy at points, but I still thought that it did what it needed to do, kind of progressed both of these women. And the opener, what can you say? Banger after banger after banger. Sheamus, Ridge, and Butch defeating Imperium. Absolutely fantastic. Good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. A real good way to hype up the crowd. I stayed up until 4 a.m. for this show, so I was very much hooked from start to finish. And I love these 6-match pay-per-views, I should say, where you get quality over quantity, and I love it. I love it so, so much. Hoping that what's next? Crown Jewel? It'll be fine, I'm sure. But what matches have been announced for Crown Jewel? So just thus far, I just got Roman and Logan Paul. But the one after that, Survivor Series War Games. Oh, dude, that is going to be so sick. So sick. Cannot wait for that on a main roster scale. But for now, also we're looking into Halloween Havoc, which looks like a pretty decent card too for its own right. In NXT, you got Bron Breakker, Ilya Dragunov, and the former Jordan Devlin, whatever his name is now. The ladder match for the North American title, as well as a couple more like Apollo Crews and Grayson Waller, and Alba Fire and Mandy Rose. I would love to see Alba Fire win the Women's Championship. That's just me. But yeah, like everything in WWE seems to be cooking really on all cylinders. And the graphics as well, the match graphics for Halloween Havoc. Oh, they're a thing of beauty. I love it. But yeah, I think that they're doing a great thing. There's still some stuff to improve on, obviously, but I think that they're very much heading in the right direction in terms of content for WWE. AEW, though, I don't know. AEW seems to be on a downward trend at the moment. I feel like it seems to be a little bit dead, a little bit kind of stuck in its ways, and yeah, like if we look at the card for the last show, if I can find it here, AEW Dynamite. I mean, this is over a week ago now, so maybe I won't be able to find it. Like I didn't actually get a chance to watch Dynamite this week, but if we I saw some of the results, and yeah, so the Mox and Hangman stuff I think is interesting. I think that they're doing a disservice though, having your man MJF kind of hanging around in the background, waiting there, because it feels like, I don't know, it feels like he's going to obviously win the championship, and not that being obvious is a bad thing, but it kind of takes the heat out of a Mox versus Page type feud, if you see what I mean. We had Orange Cassidy beating Pac, and again, even though the match from what I saw was solid, I don't know if I think Pac deserves better. I think that Pac should be higher up the card than he is at the moment, so maybe this is the start of that. Jericho stuff with Daniel Garcia going back to Jericho. I don't know, I feel like it's the same thing they did with Jamie Hayter, where they were teasing something with her and Britt, and then she just ends up being a heel again, and it really stunts the character's momentum, in my opinion, because the crowd is waiting. They're biting to really get behind Garcia. Likewise with Jamie Hayter, they're really biting to try and get behind her, and then they just have them be a heel again, and it just falls flat, in my opinion. And you've got Samoa Joe and Wardlow teaming up again. They're both champions, but they've not really defended their championships, and Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, just seems like his momentum stunted, losing to Luchasaurus, and where does he go from here? Just a lot of characters where they were from like 1 year ago. It feels like it's been a massive dip in quality in terms of like hype surrounding them and their momentum, and that's natural, but for every single guy on the roster being in a worse position, and FTR as well, calling out Tony Khan on Royal Quest, I think it was, saying to book them. Exactly, they were front runners to be Wrestlers of the Year, Tag Team of the Year. They are still IWGP, still ROH AAA Tag Champs, but they just haven't been given the opportunity on AEW TV. They really should have been the ones to beat the Young Bucks. But it is what it is, and things move forward. I am happy to see that the Acclaimed are as over as they were, more so than ever now. The Acclaimed, I think, are a great act. However, I just worry about the future of AEW. Hopefully, they can pick up momentum again, but man, I feel like the bloated roster at the moment, it's just too much going on, and not enough hype around the individual performers. The start-stop booking, the nature of having a big roster as well is difficult to maintain. And even though the wrestling can be solid, it just kind of falls flat, the hype around it. But it could just be me. I don't know. Like, I was AEW's number one fan, probably. Like, I was the biggest AEW mark you can think of, and now I just don't watch the show. It's just not that interesting to me. We'll see, though. We'll see moving forward. Like, I'll check in if there's something good going on, but like for now, it's just not the kind of show that is of interest to me personally. But hopefully they do turn it around moving forward, because it's sad to see, really. I love that WWE is doing great stuff, but I wish that all wrestling could be on the same level, because, yeah, it's just a shame. You want all wrestling to be good, and I don't wish for any wrestling company's downfall, but here we are. What other wrestling news has there been? Oh, speaking of AEW, I mean, it's not really AEW's fault, but Andrade putting his foot in his mouth again. Basically talking mess to Sammy Guevara biting back, and unprofessional, I guess you could say. Just constant bickering back and forth, and then Andrade being sent home. It just feels like he's trying to get fired. So what do you do with him, really? I think Andrade is someone who... again, is one of the better wrestlers on the roster. Like, his NXT run was insane. Why it doesn't click for them to push a guy like Andrade, I don't know. Maybe it's his attitude, who knows. But and again, the Sammy Guevara thing as well. He was so popular like this time last year. Why? It's the way he's been presented on TV, and the way that they've kind of paired him and Ty on screen, which, they can date in real life. I don't know, get married in real life, whatever. But I don't know, it's just a bit obnoxious to have them as a couple on TV. It doesn't translate well. And compared to where they were this time last year, they were both so over, and now it's real sad to see. I wish that, need to hit a hard reset on some of those characters there. But again, let's stop talking about the negativity. Let's talk about the positivity. Who are the wrestlers and the matches of the week? Well, my favourite match of this week has to go to Edge versus Finn Balor. I thought as a wrestling match, it may not have been, a 5-star classic or anything, but the story told throughout it, I thought the story beats in it were fantastic, and I love me some, it was obvious where it was going towards the end when Beth Phoenix got involved, but yeah, a real kind of masterclass in storytelling for them. And wrestler of the week has to be Bray Wyatt, cut a real emotional promo on SmackDown, and I'm just so happy that he got a real kind of oomph of a reaction from everyone, and looking forward to seeing what he can do with the creative shackles, so to speak, taken off him with this new character. Probably the best that The Fiend is put in the past, and he can move forward with this new iteration of Bray Wyatt. An honourable mention as well goes to Sami Zayn, who I thought was hilarious on Raw, and the stuff with Jey Uso always cracks me up, so yeah, Sami Zayn gets an honourable mention. But that's all the wrestling news. Before we go on to NLW updates, we'll go on to the Patreon shouts out. So first of all, want to shout out Danger Cat, Jason Beggs, Joshua, Kid Zap, Casey Hellschool, Devon Downlin, Ryan McCarthy, Cupid, Anthony Hill, Brandon Furman, Cringe God, Flynn Lampkin, and John on Patreon. Thank you all for being patrons. If you want to support the channel, head over to Patreon. The link is in the description. You'll get early access to NLW 24/7 Penultimate, as well as a special video coming very, very soon. 50-man, you probably know what it's going to be, but yeah, I'm going to try and keep it as cryptic as possible for now. In terms of NLW updates, what is coming this week on the channel? Well, this Saturday, you're going to see NLW live from Poughkeepsie, a house show highlights compilation, including the ending of a match between The Undertaker and Keith Lee. It's going to be an exciting matchup. You don't want to miss it. Plus, the Saturday after that, NLW 24/7 returns with its penultimate show. Literally called Penultimate. It's the second to last ever NLW 24/7 show. The card for that will be released very soon, so look out for that on Instagram, and also on this channel, I'm going to have another unreleased plans video coming this Thursday, so other plans that were scrapped by NLW, which I was originally planning to use but never did, some what-if scenarios for NLW. You can see that this Thursday, and then I want to do some sort of revival reactions video later in the week. Hopefully I can get that done, and I also want to get a video done on the Macho Man figure, because that's recently come for me in the post, so I want to get a video up on that very soon. Other than that, keep looking at the NLW channel, and actually, should say too, Bryan Danielson his, spoiler alert, big heel turn at Revival. There will be exclusive footage from after Revival where the assault continued on Stone Cold Steve Austin, and how did John Cena and the rest of the Metal roster react to Bryan Danielson's heel turn. Check it out this Wednesday on the main channel. But that's it for this podcast. Thank you for listening once again. I'll be back next week, and I will catch you guys later.